Hardy, Mike Dussault, and Paul Perillo is your source for the latest news and information following every Patriots game.
And the Patriots have won their 6th Super Bowl title. In the early 2000s, they won 3 of 4. Now they have won 3 of the last 5. Yes, it's still a dynasty.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
I hope y'all keep that same energy for tonight, baby. Can't wait.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
Slipping and sliding, he was like a cat. Pop, pop, bang. No one, and I mean literally no one, called this one. 45-0.
Not like that. No way.
The Patriots beat the Chargers in L.A. 45-0. Welcome into the Patriots Postgame Show presented by Gillette. It's Hardy, Mike Dussault, and Paul Perillo, where we sat here and witnessed a wire-to-wire dominant performance by the Patriots, all three phases, especially in special teams, and
defense. Really, really good defense.
Yeah. I would say defense and special teams were the the secondary headlines here. But I mean, when we get to the good, the bad, and the injured here in a second, there is going to be one category that is going to be maybe entirely absent because. This was, as I said, a dominant performance pretty much across the board by the Patriots today.
Yeah, I mean, unexpected. And, I think they got the start that they needed. I think that was a big key. They went right down the field, scored a touchdown. And then, the Chargers missed that field goal. And I think that was really their only – I mean, maybe there was another drive or two. But that was, really the only time where it seemed like it was kind of clicking for the Chargers.
That was the only glimmer they had.
Yeah.
They got the ball there first time. They went right down the field, and – then they missed the field goal, and the game was never competitive.
They never looked back from there. And
from that point on.
Yeah, and I think it was, a lot of like what we talked about before the game. I think it was the Patriots were the better coach team. I think that, the Chargers looked just completely unprepared at times. Multiple times they had wrong amount of guys on the field. Some of those, passes going sailing wide. I mean, they just seemed discombobulated for much of the game. And the Patriots, give them credit. They took advantage of every mistake that the Chargers made and made them pay for it on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and I would agree 1,000% with the way you opened the show, Hardy, in that no one saw this one. No one predicted it like this. And I picked a close game, 24-20. I thought it would be a back-and-forth close game. But there were a lot of elements that we did pick. And Mike was really on – the special teams angle. He picked the defense, was DraftKings pick, and ended up with 100 million points in fantasy.
Yeah.
But seriously, like we did talk about how bad the Chargers were in special teams. We thought coming off the Patriots game against Arizona that could be an issue, and it was. They score 2 touchdowns on special teams and have another huge long punt return to go with that. And the other thing that we kind of all thought might happen was that the rookie Justin Herbert would be a little bit off, a little confused, and I think they got some pressure on him, and it bothered him. Yep. Again, I'm not trying to say that we saw this coming because we didn't. When you pick 24-20 and 21-20, and I think
close game.
I'll leave your prediction. So I'm not trying to pretend that we, this is how we saw it. No, but there were elements of the way the game unfolded that we did sort of foreshadow.
Yeah.
I was off. I did not think the Chargers were going to be this hapless. And you guys didn't think they were going to, get shut out or score 3 or 7 points, but you at least allowed for the fact that the Chargers were every bit as bad as their record would indicate.
This was the opposite of the Houston game.
Yeah, they were worse than their record would indicate, and the Patriots exploited every single weakness that they had. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from what the Patriots did today, but they were aided in the fact that this is a bad Chargers football team. I just didn't think they were that bad, and I don't think they are that bad. They really aren't.
No, and it kind of snowballed on them too, and I think that was part of it. You saw them get Justin Herbert out of any kind of comfort zone early, and from there he never really found a rhythm. Sometimes he'd have guys, but he just never looked comfortable. And this is what happens when the Patriots don't turn the ball over, and they had 3 penalties. So not hurting themselves. you get 2 special team scores, not to mention another huge punt return from Gunnar. I mean, it's just once it started, it's just the Chargers had no answers, and as Paul said in the middle of the game, kind of feels like the butt fumble game where it just starts going wrong, and they can't stop it, and the Patriots and they smell blood in the water, and they were able to finish.
Yeah, there was 2 games that reminded me of, and one was the butt fumble game, and the other was that Monday night game in Miami a few years ago when they had like a blocked field goal, an interception return. It was one of those kind of games, but just all kinds of credit to the Patriots, like the defense. And I know, listen, I don't want to shortchange the offense either. I don't think the offense did a lot today, but they completely set the tone for where the game was going to go with that first drive. And we're going to get into that as we start talking about our individual goods and bads and whatever. But the offense came out ready to play. The defense played from wire to wire, and the special teams continued its dominance from last week.
Now, Nick and Connor, I see you guys already on hold, and you're already on the line. I don't want you to go away, but we are going to do the good, the bad, and the injured first. Normally I would say, let's grab these calls first before we get into it. One of the categories, as I said, is going to be very quick. There may be nothing in it. So
Can we include Chargers in that? Because then that would maybe make it a little
No, because then
we don't have enough time for the show.
Then Nick and Connor will definitely be gone by the time we get to them.
Screw
So
this.
instead, let's get to the good, the bad, and the injured. Here we go.
Now it's time for the good,
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
the bad,
If you were in my toilet bowl, I wouldn't bother flushing it.
and the injured.
You are a gay!
Good, the bad, and the injured are brought to you by the good players, the bad players, and the injured players. We begin with Paul Perillo, your first good for the Patriots and their 45-0 shutout of the San Diego Superchargers of Los Angeles. What do you got, Paulie?
I'm not going to necessarily go in order of things that I thought were the best as you know, comparatively. I'm just going to go.
What are we doing?
This is like one of those.
You're going to go chronologically?
Movies. Yeah, one of those movies in order of appearance.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, the first thing that stuck out to me today was the power football that they displayed on the very first drive with some different elements. You saw a couple of wildcat plays. You saw Damian Harris get out of the blocks, which I thought was a really good sign after the last couple of weeks where he's really been slowed down at the beginning of games. I think they were really determined to sort of display their physicality right at the start today. It was a good, real crisp opening drive. They just played power football. They went right down the field, no frills, and I think that set the tone for the whole game. So I'm going to say that power start was the first thing I had on my list.
Okay, so if we're going to go chronologically, and this will be fun.
Oh, you don't have to.
No. I think we all should, and I think this will be a fun exercise. Yeah. First thing that I had, and these are subject to change as the game goes on. You know, you put tentative goods down, and will they stay that way?
Yeah.
The first good that I had was play calling, which goes
absolutely.
right in line with that, right? Yeah. Just, the Wildcat looks, the different looks that they had on offense on that first touchdown drive. I'm like, okay, a tentative good, and it ended up being the case for the entire game. So, yes, there we go.
I'm going to keep it going, and I'm going to put, like Paul said, like the credits. So I'm going to do, and introducing Gunnar Olszewski, because I think that's, the next play was the punt return that made it 14-0. I think Gunnar was the guy that a lot of us have written off. I think he had, obviously the 2 big returns, as well as, that touchdown catch at the end, which, those were kind of in garbage time. But I thought that the punt return, just to see him bounce back, I think, last week could have been a flash in the pan where he had that good return and it got taken away. For him to kind of bounce back and have that return, which made it 14-0, I just thought it changed the tenor of the game, and that's the first special team score, which started like, oh, geez, you realize that the Chargers in their third phase, they're going to have problems today, and that kind of opened up the floodgates a little bit.
We should address the very real possibility that we're joined by Gunnar Olszewski at some point here in the postgame show.
Great.
Okay? Is there a way that I can ask respectfully, and if there isn't, I won't, but if there is, I'll happily do it. My question is simply this. What happened to you? I mean, seriously,
It's probably not all.
It's not all that respectful, is it?
What happened?
How about the increase in the quality of your play over the last couple weeks? Is there something there? Is there a way to phrase it? Unless you have an answer for me right now, because I'd really like to know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe just frame it as, wow, you've had a really great couple of weeks. How's it feel to break out, or have some?
Well, no, it feels good. That doesn't answer my question.
You suck.
What happened to you?
What
happened to you?
Why are you sucky in the middle of the season?
I'll leave that to Paul to figure it out. All right, Paul, back to you.
Well, I'm going to tell you just how good everything was today, continuing my in order of appearance theme.
Yeah.
Deuce, I had two things in between.
Oh, yeah. Nice skip.
In between there.
I thought there were a couple of things.
That's how good they were in this game. The first thing I had was just the overall pressure they applied on the passer today. Sure. It came in waves. It came from the start of the game all the way to the end of the game. Justin Herbert was never, ever close to being comfortable in that game today. And
11 quarterback hits.
I thought there was a lot of different guys. I don't think they blitzed a ton to do it. I think they just absolutely overpowered the overmatched Chargers offensive line.
Yeah, 3 sacks, 11 quarterback hits. I mean, they were all over him. I think that's a great one. I'm totally with you. I just love to see that, and that was a big part of, I think, what we saw last week was kind of missing in that Houston game. Like, they just were kind of, like, befuddled by Deshaun Watson and his abilities, but they were great. I mean, Chase continues to kind of make strides. Great play by him to kind of stay back and get that interception. We kind of commented, usually a guy like him, he's just go, 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 but he showed, some restraint there to be able to, stay in position, cover that back part of the field, and he paid off the interception there. Great catch as well. So, yeah, a lot of those kind of performances throughout.
Anything else chronologically?
I lost track of it.
Is there any? Yeah, is
then
there
points
anything
just started coming.
Well, the only
in between, the defense and Gunnar Olszewski maybe missed there, because otherwise we're gonna have to go back to Paul.
No, just a small little thing. This is kind of like what you were talking about, Hardy. You kind of write things down just as they pop into your head. Not necessarily, but I thought in terms of that physicality, I thought Gilmore came to play today.
Yeah.
And I know Keenan Allen's a really, really good player, and he made some plays. But I just thought the physicality that Gilmore showed at the start of that game, again, was a tone setter. It wasn't going to be easy. You're not going to run across the middle and catch 15 balls today. It's not going to be one of those days. You're going to earn every one of your catches. And I thought Gilmore established that early on.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great one. I was just thinking of him. I was trying to think of a guy that kind of embodies the defense today. But I think when they play well like this, it's just such great team defense. And everybody had moments. Jawan Bentley, Lawrence Guy, Adam Butler, Uche. I mean, you could go right down the line really with a lot of those guys. And, it wasn't one guy making 15 plays. It was everybody making 2 or 3,
Right.
And that's what makes them effective. With this team, it's not, we've got our, Joey Bosa over there and he's going to, be a nightmare. It's when they're effective, they're all kind of playing disruptive together in sync, and that's what we saw.
Just let me get it in here now because people were asking about it.
All right. I mean, if you insist.
I don't like to work blue, okay? Why don't you guys save that for the weekdays, okay?
Yes, you do. No, go ahead.
Nick Folk belongs on the good list.
Just keeps on kicking.
Well, 6 for 6 on the extra points, and we've seen him missed here in the red zone today, and you see him missed all the time. I believe that is now 20 straight field goals he's made.
You really did, didn't you?
What? Put him on the good list?
That was a big thing on Twitter all day. Like,
it was
how is Hardy going to work in Nick Folk on the good list? How is Paul going to give him
20 consecutive field goals now? He made a 32-yarder. He was 6 for 6 on his extra points. He belongs on the good list.
Here's the thing on the game in general, and we were sort of joking about, like, I don't think one of the lists is going to take all that long. They were so good in every area today. I don't know if you have a lot of and that was good.
I know.
It's like everything was good.
Yeah.
Everything was good.
The special teams blocking was great.
Like, special teams. Like, you mentioned, all the pressure, like Uche. I had Uche written down, like specifically. But, to say something special about him and not Winovich,
right,
or like Winovich and not Dietrich Wise, or Wise and not Lawrence Guy. Like, who didn't play great today?
Yeah.
Therese Hall was running around.
Right.
You made a comment in the second half about, him sideline to sideline, just showing up,
2 passes,
being physical.
Defense. Yeah.
Just overall defensive domination. It was the best defense they've played all year.
How do you want to address special teams and the good list here? Because you already mentioned Gunnar Olszewski, but there were some standout
Jake
plays.
You already mentioned Folk.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you could Bailey.
Yeah, I mean,
2 punts inside the
Bethel?
5. And Bethel with a great play on the goal line.
Bethel had a great play down in the ball there, and
they all deserve mention.
And the field goal block by Cody Davis. I mean,
yes.
Cody. I know. That's. I mean,
It's like an
it's
embarrassment
silly.
of riches. What are we doing here?
You just go. So, what about Cam too? We could talk about him a little bit.
I wrote Cam running.
Yeah.
The 2 touchdowns.
If Cam's really dealing with an abdomen, then the fact that he had the rushing touchdowns and he was fighting his way over the goal line, he did the one leap to get in, the other one he pushed his way and then got dragged in also. It was actually the defensive lineman that got dragged while he was holding on to Cam. At that point, if you're the defensive lineman, I don't know who it was, if it was a linebacker or the nose tackle, do you let go when you feel somebody pulling you? The wrong direction? Do you just let go of the runner at that point? Like, well,
it's a fair point.
I'm not helping.
You can have him. You take it. You take it.
Yeah.
So I'm just watching the touchdown montage on Red Zone, and they're showing the bomb that Derek Carr hit Henry Ruggs with to beat the Jets. And just on Twitter, there's a lot. Like I don't know if you guys realize, but like Greg Williams called a zero coverage blitz on that play.
Yeah. Why?
And like when you talk about again. It's not the effort on the field. But when you talk about tanking, that's what it looks like. When you have the ball at midfield and there's time for 1, maybe 2 plays left, and you decide to say, let's call a zero blitz. What's the worst that can happen? The guy runs by in single coverage, one of the fastest guys to come out of the draft in like 5 years.
Right. Cheetah.
Like that's just that's what tanking looks like, ladies and gentlemen.
So Cam's day passing, he was 12 of 19 for 69 yards.
Oh, dude.
And the touchdown pass, which, again, to N'Keal Harry, what else could this game have in store
right?
for
We didn't
us?
even talk about N'Keal Harry.
So, no, passing, I don't know that he necessarily belongs on the good list. I tell you who might, even though he was only 2 of 3, Jared Stidham. How did he look throwing the ball?
He caught Gunner on
Stidham?
that one.
Yeah.
The touchdown was a good throw.
I mean, it's
He didn't
not
throw a pick six.
I mean, if this
I didn't
were,
really like the one to Sony that almost got picked.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, who looked bad?
No,
okay.
I'm telling you, literally could go down all 50 whatever guys played in the game today. What did they? 48.
Yeah.
Everybody like this. We can move on and we can skip it because I don't have a thing.
I don't. Is there anyone you dare put on the bad list today?
I have nothing.
I don't know. No.
I don't have one. Boss
Fred
man
do it.
Fred is joining us now.
Aside from a couple of individual plays, I don't know how you can put anything on the bad list.
He is oddly monochromatic today. I believe
It looks like he just.
I got off the farm.
First of all, he has his donut just in case everybody's wondering.
well,
but he looks like he just got out of the boat fishing all day.
the
Did
frosting.
you watch the game, Fred?
The frosting on the donut is the most colorful thing about his appearance. That and his rosy complexion, but otherwise,
I didn't know I had to be colorful. I mean, I can't compete with Deuce, right?
That's Ray Berry.
you look like something out of the Grapes of Wrath. Seriously.
You're going to need to wear that now next week
I know, I
on
can't take it
Thursday.
off, right?
Sling blade.
You got to keep it going.
I like the way you talk.
Exactly.
Call it a Kaiser.
He's a regular Eli Whitney on them small engines. Look at him.
Well, listen, it's COVID.
Yeah.
There's nobody here. We're in an empty stadium.
COVID is why you're wearing Depression-era gray from head to toe?
What are you talking? This is a
It's like
nice.
he's in the bread line.
This is from Bass Pro. This is like a redhead, insulated
Yeah, it was
shirt.
cozy.
Okay.
Came down for his potato. And
So, Fred, we seriously have gone over like
Everybody's
countless
on the
things.
good list. No
Everybody's
one's
on
on
the
the
good
bad
list.
list.
Is there anything that you could come up with on the bad list today? I literally have nothing. This is a first for me,
I don't know.
and there's my proof. I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera.
I got a
No,
funny
it's
one.
too far
Yeah,
away.
I mean, individually, no, but putting in Stidham and throwing the ball, I mean, what are we doing?
I got a funny one here.
I think
from,
that-
Why not?
He played the last 9 minutes of the game. Yeah, sure, throw the ball.
turnover.
You got to get him ready
For what?
in case he needs to play.
All right.
Bruno's got a funny one. He said on the J.C. Jackson interception, they actually lost yardage.
Well, I
should have knocked it
I
down.
did say that live that cost them some field position.
We
but
talked about that kind of in depth. It's like if he had kept his feet,
he
probably
had the sideline. If he
had the
if he didn't
sideline,
fall,
he would have easily gotten beyond the line of scrimmage. But I mean, how do you coach a player not
I
to
know.
catch that ball in that
It's hard.
situation?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, no, everybody played great.
Yeah,
You know,
just unfold perfectly, didn't make the mistakes, and just made them pay for every stupid
somebody
thing.
in the blog said, the big difference today is no stupid penalties. I go, that's it? That's the big difference?
that's the difference.
well, that's a question as we get a little bit more into. We'll do the injuries first and grab a couple of calls, but think about that.
So
what is going to be when we address it as a show? What was the difference today between what we've seen here in the last few weeks. I know there have been wins in there. Obviously, 3 out of their last 4. Now, 4 out of their last 5? But today was different. So just be thinking about it. Don't answer now, Deuce.
I got a whole thing, Freddie. All right.
Yeah, okay. But is this 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6 wins?
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5?
Yes.
Not bad, huh?
Not bad.
New season.
Injuries?
Yeah, so there was
a couple.
Injured?
Jay Jones. I saw
Oh, I
he
didn't know.
left.
I didn't know he
notice-
got hurt.
Yeah,
I didn't have him.
And I don't think he came back in,
I
did
don't
he?
think he did.
No.
JC looked like he was limping pretty good there.
But he
at the
came
end.
back in.
He
I know.
did.
Who-
I don't think so.
Who had a
I think he
neck?
did.
Somebody had a neck.
And Ryan Izzo, and I don't think he came back in either. But it's hard to tell when you're just watching the TV. But I thought that Keene played. That might have also been, 45-0.
Yeah,
so
totally in.
it's Stidham, Keene. Those guys were in. But there were a couple guys that looked like they got banged up a little bit.
All right. Man, let's grab a couple of calls here, 855-PATS-500. And before we do that, we have Chase Winovich joining us here on the Patriots post-game show. Chase, it's Hardy. It's good to talk to you on a weekend and not just during Zolak and Bertrand and Mike Dussault, Paul Perillo, Fred Kirsch. Congratulations on the win.
Hey, thank you so much.
Big interception, Chase.
Oh, my goodness. Now, let's talk about the pick first and foremost, Chase. You picked that thing, and it looked like you knew it was coming over to that side. How did it go down? Take us through it, champ.
Yeah, man, it was so cool. I ran up the sideline. Gunnar Olszewski, first thing he said to me, he's like, "Man, you look like a ball hawk out there," but I can't accept that compliment. It's really all on my teammates for doing a great job covering, and my coaches put me in that position. And, but it was cool. Yeah, there was a running back that was to that side, so I was playing it a little more conservative. It was a rollout, obviously away, and I saw the receiver to there. That was floating, and I saw the quarterback glance back, made a decent break on it, and it was cool getting my first interception since middle school.
And
I was really excited.
And that's the thing. It did look like when he rolled out, you kind of, like you said, played conservative, kind of stayed home instead of going with the play. And sure enough, that's where he threw the ball.
Yeah. It worked out. Like I said, it worked out great because the running back was on that side. So I say an alarm went off. Saying okay, they might run a screen here to this running back. So that's why I was back there initially, and then there was a receiver on that side. The quarterback glanced there, and I knew that it had to go there. And like I said, it was just happened to work out. When those types of plays happen, they happen so fast that you kind of like, I don't want to say you black out, but you just like, next moment you have the ball in your hands and you're celebrating, all your teammates are running over. And but overall, man, the interception was cool, but getting a great team victory, playing complimentary football was even better. The boys, seem to be to really melding together, and I'm fired up for this week. Big game on Thursday.
Yeah, Chase, I wanted to ask you along those lines. We were just kind of running through the defense, and we felt like, we could pick just about any of the guys on the defense as, players that stepped up and made big plays. And I think, as you said, it seems like, you guys are starting to put things together here now. What's it just feel like for you right now on that defense where everybody's kind of playing well, everybody's contributing and making plays, and, it seems like that's really taking you guys to another level?
Yeah, it's a great thing when you have guys across the board making plays, and it makes it hard for an offensive coordinator to draw up plays when you have guys across the board on various levels making different types of plays, and coaches making so many adjustments, and you have a rookie quarterback where you're constantly changing up stunts and mixing different things in to cause some havoc, and the coaches did a great job. The players just, fell in line and did their job, the old Patriot way, and it was a great team win. So it's awesome, man.
You talked about a lot of that pressure that you guys were able to put on. Do you guys feel like you confused Herbert a little bit today?
Yeah, I definitely think that there was an element of that. I mean, it's by design. Typically with our defense, just with some of the stuff that we do, and but I can't reveal all our tricks, as a good magician never does.
Chase, I don't want to keep you much longer, but I'm curious, was there a point in the game where you stopped thinking about win because it was fairly obvious you were going to win, and you instead kind of shift your focus toward preserving the shutout? Is that something you think about at all during a game like that?
Maybe some games, but to be honest, today was, they were going up tempo, and you get to a certain point like that, you're trying to make sure you line up and do your job and make some plays, and you're locked into the game. So the shutout's cool and stuff, but it's the same. I put that along the same line of the same vein as getting sacks. Like, sacks are cool, but at the end of the day, the only stat that really matters is the W, and the only thing that really matters, individually, is doing your job, especially here. So I'm thankful for the most part. I can come out and say I did that and get a lucky souvenir.
There you go. I was going to say sacks are cool, but interceptions are cooler. They just are.
Interceptions are pretty cool, too.
Yeah. Well, congrats on the pick, and have a good week out in Los Angeles. Look forward to watching you again on Thursday night. Congrats again on the win.
Yeah, thanks so much for your time, guys. Really appreciate it.
Good job.
Thanks, Chase.
Congrats, Chase. Thanks.
There he goes.
Yep.
Chase Winovich joining us here on the post-game show. 855-PATS-500.
Nice. They've really gotten to him, huh? I mean, he says all the right things.
I'm looking at exactly the opposite. I asked him a question for a very specific reason, and he answered it just like I figured he would.
Well.
Yep, I think we confused him.
No.
He's the only guy in that locker room that would have said that.
As long as it's we. That's
oh,
what
no,
he's
I'm
thinking
just saying,
about.
like, did you guys think he confused him? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I feel I can't speak for anyone else. Just for myself, I didn't feel confused.
Yeah. I just, I'm trying to help in that regard. I didn't ask him about any murder mysteries, about any chupacabras or anything this time.
He is a very good-natured guy, and we had a chance.
He's the best athlete interview in town.
We had happy.
We had a
being happy?
to meet with his family. Where was that? Maybe in Detroit. It was Detroit, Matt. You remember?
Yeah.
Couldn't have been nicer. Met his folks. I think he had some cousins there and an uncle, I want to say. Just really, really nice, down-to-earth people.
Yeah.
Just excited about our show. Like, they knew about the show a little bit because they had listened. So that's the kind of stuff that when you find out that the guy comes and then he ends up having some success. I think back to stuff like that. I'm like, oh, well, that's good. It's like Jacoby Myers. We talked a lot about him. His dad listens to the show. I'm sorry. It means a little bit more when you know that the guys recognize what you do, and then they have success, and then you're able to talk about it a little bit more. It's
especially
it's rewarding.
Those two guys are both great guys, and it's nice to see Chase kind of having some success. He had that kind of down period in the middle of the season. He wasn't playing. Everyone's like, "Where's Chase? Where's Chase?" And he's right back out there now. He's making plays.
Which would be another one on my list of just because it happens doesn't mean it's right.
Right.
You remember we talked about in the pregame show? And like, all of a sudden, Chase Winovich is playing 4 snaps again. Well, Bill says that he's only supposed to play 4 snaps.
Yeah, and I think that there's always, like, more going on than you might realize, and there's also, like, coaching things where you're like, you know what, that guy needs to sit for a minute because he needs to wake up. And, maybe a message being sent and everyone wants him to say, hey, I'm sending him a message, but he's not going to do that, and then the message is received and he plays better. There's elements of that.
It was definitely, we're asking you to do certain things, and you need to do them.
And that's why I thought your question, which I was about to ask as well, was great because that's what I thought it showed some development in him. Whereas in the past, he'd be just gung-ho for the quarter. Now he waited, he was patient, and he paid off.
Yep.
It would have been nice if he kept his feet, though. Maybe picked up a few yards. I don't want to
put him on the bad list.
Yeah, we'll put him on the bad list.
Could have run.
Nick in Boston here on the Patriots postgame show. Nick, what's going on? Nick.
Guess who's on the controls?
Yeah, see, that doesn't happen with me.
That doesn't. Not on my watch.
All right, if Connor's not here, no more calls for the rest of the show.
There we go. That's it. It's all done.
I think they're doing it on purpose to him.
You told him at the top that we had to do some things
I
first.
know.
They didn't hang around.
No, Spee will be ready.
I'll take Spee because Spee's
there
always
sure.
there.
He knows the drill.
Hello, Spee.
I'm dying.
All right, forget it.
I was a slaughter. I mean, at the half, I thought of maybe calling Child Protective Services for poor babyface Herbert over there.
He does look like he's 11.
I was trying to figure out who he reminded me of. I think it's somebody from like a sitcom that's like on in the background of my house, but I don't watch. like a Modern Family or American Housewife.
Two good shows, by the way.
I think he might be one of the kids on American Housewife. That's who he reminds me.
Did you get a River Phoenix vibe at all from him? No, just me.
No.
I think I got a Kirk Cameron, just kind of the
okay.
the
All right. That might be it. That might be it.
Yeah. So the defense, it's interesting. I was thinking, I think you guys were talking about it, like maybe you'd see the amoeba grazing cattle type thing pre-snap, but I guess I didn't see much of that, and instead it was just a blitz.
Yep.
And Bill just said that's working, and this boy is this young QB. He can't handle it. The truth. And I was just kind of wondering, like X's and O's wise, the difference between those two approaches, the grazing cattle type amoeba thing where you don't really know what's coming versus just okay, here comes the blitz.
Great question. Can I take it? No, you're right, and I was surprised too. I mean, we thought that they would really try to make it confusing, but I thought they just won. They did what you always want a good defense to do, which is just line up and beat your guy one-on-one. And when you have a one-on-one matchup, win it. And that's what's refreshing to see, I think, because when you go to that amoeba thing, it's like we got no guys that can win. We gotta scare. We gotta confuse them. We have to send guys
that's
out.
The difference is when you're going against that line with the guy, and then they were missing another guy. I think they felt like they could win the matchups.
Just go get them.
I think they felt like Dietrich Wise and Chase Winovich, they're going to get there. They're going to, and we're going to bring Uche off the edge a little bit and get some of that speed involved. I don't think they felt like they needed to do that. It's part of the reason, and I know I was joking around. It's part of the reason why I asked him if he felt like they were confusing Herbert, because to me it was about protection more than anything else. He just, I think he didn't have any time.
I will defend Herbert a little bit.
Yeah, I will too.
I mean, early on, like they were getting to him, but he was getting rid of it, getting hit and completing the pass, But from the back end, they were defending well too, and so no one was getting hurt when that happened. There wasn't anybody getting free when they blitzed, and so it was just all around good D. But I think Herbert did what he could do, but there wasn't much he could do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Speed, thank you for always being there.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Thank you for being a friend.
That's right. Brandon in Atlanta. Welcome to the Patriots Postgame Show. Hello, Brandon.
Hey, I made the complete sweep. Pre-game and post-game.
Nice. Good
Hit
job.
the cycle.
That's what we called for, right? We asked for that.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have much to say because, there's nothing much to say. It was a complete domination on all four phases. There's only three phases, but I feel like we should get credit for a fourth phase that
doesn't. This show is the fourth phase.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
there you go.
Coaching. We'll call coaching the fourth phase.
Yeah, there you go. I just want to say, I'm a Patriots fan to the death. I got their logo tattooed on me. I may be Brandon from Atlanta, but I was born and raised in Hartford, Connecticut, so I'm from New England. So this ain't just a passing phase. When number 12 left, I was hurt, but I was not immediately, but I was on to the next phase of our team. So this is just something I'll never root for the tank for us to get an unproven rookie, and I just love this team, and I love when we win, even if it's not a lot, which is not this season, but
Hey, 6-6, baby.
Yep. Brandon, I appreciate the call, and thank you for calling back in.
I like that he called back in after we asked him to.
Thank you.
We did because, he is one of many callers that we've had that have said over the last couple of weeks, especially after a win when we've been critical of Cam Newton. They're like, what's the matter with you guys? I love Cam, and they're winning. What is it? And today was one of those days where it's like, okay, the numbers aren't going to jump off the page, especially in the passing game, but he did carry the ball 14 times, 48 yards. He had the 2 touchdown runs, and you got to give him credit. Not in a traditional sense, not in the way that we're used to watching a quarterback operate in a big Patriots win like this. But this was more of a team win, and it wasn't just all about, wow, did you see Cam Newton today? Yeah. Did you see everybody today? Yeah. Did you see everything about this game today?
Yeah, and this was the extreme example. You're not going to get 2 special team scores a lot in a game, and this is just, I think, a sign of when everything goes right for this team. They're able to do it. Now they're not going to roll every defense that they're not going to roll their offense out there and just go right through people. They need some help. It needs to be a complementary game, and I think coming into the season, in my best hope, it will be that all right, the defense is going to play really well, which they did today. And you know, the Patriots, they care about special teams more than anybody. That's how they're going to steal a few games. They stole a few games last year with special teams. This is, you know, the first one this year that they've stolen, but that's what they do, you know. But I don't, you know, come out of this game feeling like this is a totally different team than I thought. They're the same team I thought they were coming into the game. It's just how these games unfold and how they're able to not beat themselves.
The Chargers played awful.
They did.
I mean, their defense, you know, just
the defense was the only thing that showed up.
Were you
Kenneth Murray.
What did you think on the Patriots' second drive when they came out throwing?
Oh, well, I mean,
this is my comment. The first play of the game was a quick misdirection screen that worked for like 15 yards. The first play of the second drive was the same play for nothing. And I was like, we really tried the same misdirection. The first one was to Damian Harris. The second one was to White. So maybe you could make the argument with Harris out there. Your defense is in a different look. And, you know, I just didn't understand why you would try the same pass.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they started both drives with a pass.
Yeah.
But I just didn't think the same play made a lot of sense.
And some wildcat as well on that first drive. You know, like they're just continuing to, you know, kind of
it just
explore
shows you what
that
they have
space,
to
and
do.
they've got to get creative. You know,
and this is why I would say, you know, obviously the Chargers defense didn't play a great game, but the Patriots didn't even get 300 yards of offense today, and they scored 45 points. I don't put that one on the Chargers defense. It was the offense and the special teams that let them down.
Let's go to Todd, Greenville, North Carolina. Hello, Todd. Welcome into the post-game show. What's up?
Hey, Hardy, welcome you into the we really were wrong in our picks when we picked the Chargers group.
All right, so there's a couple of us. There's a couple of us out there.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, we all thought it was going to be a close game.
Yeah.
The only comment I got is I really hope Megan O'Brien has a hate-on for a few more players, because, man, do they show up when
how about that? Winnow and Gunner.
Yep, both of them.
Chase Winovich is the future of the New England Patriots.
What do they need to do to continue this? Like, how can they continue for this momentum?
Play the Chargers every week.
Play the Chargers every week.
Yeah, I mean, the Chargers had a huge hand in this, but, you know, this is one of those games where it all came together. Chase talked about in terms of defensively playing as a unit, special teams playing out of their minds, offensively trying enough things and not getting away from the things that were working.
I'm going to be fascinated Thursday because the Rams have the type of defense where, you know, they can look at it and say, we are not going to let them run all over us. So the Patriots are going to have to throw the ball on Thursday. They're going to have to.
See, to me, it's about the other side.
That was my point.
It's about the other side because
the momentum is to keep that to get the passing game working, or
no? He's talking about the offense.
Yeah, Todd, thanks for the call.
Yeah, the thing that to me is sustainable. You know, can the defense continue? I mean, all right, I'm not talking about pitch and shutouts, but can the defense continue to make life tough? And if you can keep an offense from getting off to a good start, that automatically allows your offense to continue to be conservative. Again, I don't think it was great offensively today. They kept the ball out of harm's way, and they did what they had to do. Fred's absolutely right. Like, okay, they went right down the field and they scored. Second drive, they were off the field, punted. And then the Chargers got the ball back, and then they had a punt, and you returned the punt for a touchdown.
14-0.
Right? And that was it. So, game, set, match.
You know, and then later on, they get a drive that they get stopped, and they're going to have to kick again, and that guy gets called for the legal hands to the face penalty. And they end up scoring a touchdown on that drive. Like, they were better offensively in this game than last week. But it wasn't overwhelming. And the defense.
I'm sorry, I'm just smiling because I'm thinking about the 12th man penalty too.
Oh, that came later. Yeah. That came after the game was over. But like when the game was still a game in the first half.
Yeah.
The offense didn't really do a ton. It was the defense that dominated and the special teams that dominated. Now, that's enough. If you can dominate like that, that's enough to win games against bad teams. No question.
And that's where you factor in the real fourth phase, which would be coaching. You know, just overall coaching and discipline of the team. It's like, okay, may not be great, may not be world beaters, especially on offense, but we're not going to beat ourselves like the Chargers are doing right now. We are not going to, take dumb penalties.
Right. And they're not going to do stuff like that. You know that. And, we talked about, Cam. I don't think he threw the ball very well again today. I thought he had a couple he had a really low ball to Jacoby Myers. Yeah. I was late and short on a deep ball to Damier Byrd, but he didn't put the ball in harm's way. he had the one snap that he mishandled, but he ended up recovering.
Yeah,
it.
that's.
But he didn't he didn't throw any picks.
I tell you what, I give him credit.
He wasn't reckless with the ball.
Yeah, especially he took some sacks where there were guys around him. He could,
he got down.
Yeah, he got
down. He protected the ball.
And
so if you do that and you don't give the other team help, and your defense is playing at a level that they were playing today, you're going to win going away.
Right. Yeah. And for the knock on Cam, before he started playing here, for the people who had a very limited knowledge of his history, they always pointed to the Super Bowl. It's like, oh, this is the guy who won't jump on a loose ball. He's not only doing that, but he's staying in there, and he took some sacks when it was the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
And if he is dealing with any kind of an injury, whether it's abdominal or still dealing with a shoulder or anything, he's not afraid of the contact. He's not afraid to do the right thing, even if it means that it is going to put him in harm's way a little bit. So I give him, and I know you're not, trying to take away from his or anyone's performance today, Paul. But I look at
the
it,
contrary.
And I give him credit for those things.
Yes.
And I say that all contribits to the win.
Do you know the whole can he manage the game and keep you? That's what he did today.
Yep.
And he didn't run for big yardage, but he ran for 2 touchdowns and he threw a third. I'm sorry, I'll take that every day, every game. I'm going to take 3 touchdowns and no turnovers. I'm going to take that from my quarterback.
Sure.
I don't care that he only had 69 yards.
Who cares what the numbers
That's
look
what they
like?
asked him to do today.
This is the formula.
That's the
he
formula.
has to execute, and that's it.
And that's what it will be if you don't fall behind.
Right. Navy football.
Absolutely. And that's, and if he does the same thing against the Rams, I'll pick the Patriots to win a close low 20s game again.
And that means you didn't fall behind and you were
it.
able to keep his pass attempts under 20.
Yep.
That's what they want.
They're going to run the table.
Okay?
Whoa.
I just don't want that next year.
They could.
No, me neither.
They could.
No.
Sean and
We
Van.
can change the formula next year. I'm fine with that.
Sean in Vancouver.
Hello.
Hey, Sean.
So this is a huge surprise. This is a special win, right? Before, Paul, you couldn't come up with someone who's put on the bad list. And now I couldn't see him for the whole game. The only play I noticed, Jason McCourty, was when it was already 35-0. It's 3rd and 11, and Herbert completes one deep to Guyton. So does that qualify?
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's garbage.
Thanks, Sean.
Yep.
Nope.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. No patience at all for him.
Wow.
Not on my watch.
No.
That's just that you're out of order.
You know what?
Callers beware. Do not say a wrong thing. You will immediately be hung up on.
J-Mac.
Suck it, Hardy.
Herbert completed a pass late in the game. We're going to put Jason McCourty in the bad list. No. Nicole in Houston, who called us last week. I remember you, Nicole. Thank you for being back on the show. Hi.
How you doing, guys?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I had to call today because I wanted to hear what you guys were going to say. I want to hear all the Cam bashing, or if we was going to be on the Cam train. So I had to call today because I wanted to be a part of this conversation.
Okay.
But you asked what was different about the last game and this game, right?
Yes.
Defense.
You didn't mention what I said, though. What did I say needed to happen for them to win?
I forget.
Score more
They
points.
need to shut the team out.
No. If Cam is having fun, he plays so much better.
If he's
I know
having
he didn't
fun.
throw well,
Well.
but the team as a whole had fun. They all played well, and they looked like they all were friends. I know it's a game. I know it's not high school. I mean, I know they get paid to do this, but at the same time, just like when you like coming to work, you have fun at work.
I know.
You probably do your best.
No.
But I'll ask you the same question this week I asked you last week, Nicole. What comes first, the winning or the fun?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm happy when I lose a game, but if I feel like...
No, but during the
that,
game. During the game. Like, if you're losing, it's tough to have fun.
Right. But I'm just saying, okay, it's more than just the fun part. Okay, last week, Kim, sometimes it can be boring watching them run the ball. Okay, I can turn the channel on that. And even though
If they run it well, I don't care.
Stuff going on because the defense got involved and did a lot of stuff. I'm not saying it's just fun for Cam. I mean, they all did well today, and when everybody's playing well, and that's probably any team, when everybody's playing well, they're going to get the win.
Sure.
I agree, Nicole, and thank you for calling back in. I will say this. Fun to me is like that first special teams touchdown, right?
Yeah,
I don't know how you coach for that. I don't know how you say, this is what we're going to do, because that's fun. That's something that the entire sideline erupts because it's like a gift.
Yeah.
That's fun. How do you reasonably say to yourselves, you know what we're going to do in this game? We're going to get a couple of special teams touchdowns because that's the most fun, and that's what's going to get everybody engaged. No, they just happen, you know?
What would be the most fun thing for this game?
While it may be true, there's no way you can, prepare yourself to do that.
When good things happen, you have fun.
Yeah. And for me, I do not have fun at work. I don't get up and go to fun. I get up and go to work. Okay?
Yeah, well,
that's your problem.
That's true.
I'm not having any fun at my job. You getting paid to have fun?
Sorry about that.
No, I'm saying people who complain about that. If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, huh? Anyone?
It's supposed to be hard.
I am listening to the
If it was
pregame
easy,
show.
everybody would do
Listening to
it.
the pregame show, and Hardy is again complaining about someone slighting him. I forget what it was.
It's kind of our bit. It's kind of his thing.
Yeah.
Well, and then he backtracked and realized that it didn't happen. He said that I stole something from him.
No.
He came full circle.
Felger,
Actually, it wasn't
Maz
you.
stole my take. It was a take theft.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not a slight. That's just a take theft.
Well, it is a slight.
When you're a thought
if someone
leader,
steals from you, you're being slighted.
You know what would help immensely in this regard?
What's that?
Return
For
my
me
phone,
to be quiet?
Return my phone call.
When's
when
the
I
last
call
time you
in
called me?
and leave you a voicemail, I learned my lesson after a couple of times.
I'm a busy man.
He is a busy man.
Got me on the pay no mind list
You left
for
a
years.
voicemail?
I know.
Wow.
I know. That's big for
Hi,
me.
Fred.
What is that?
it's Hardy calling. Call
Ducky
me
Dale.
back when you get a chance.
Yeah, Ducky Dale, 622. Maybe you're in the shower. Call me back. All right, let's step aside here. When we
Good, I
return,
gotta eat this donut.
when we return, at some point we're going to hear from both the head coach and the quarterback after today's 45-0 win. By the way, if you want more of that last-second interception, you keep replaying at AWS. We're bringing fans new data behind every epic pass, play, even fumble. With an unmatched pace of innovation, technology is changing the game, and AWS is how. Learn more at aws.com/sports.
Ready or not. Gillette Pro Glide and Pro Glide Gel. 5 blades and a pivoting flex ball designed to get virtually every hair on the first stroke while washing away dirt and oil. So you're ready for the day with a clean shave and a clean face.
In New England, we are resilient. It takes hard work to earn respect. Sometimes it takes decades. And it always takes someone being on your side.
Order ahead on the Dunkin' app to get running on game day. Whether you're a Patriots fan or a Dunkin' fan. DD Perks members get a $1 medium hot or iced coffee when you order from the app on Patriots game day.
Ready or not. Gillette Pro Glide and Pro Glide Gel. 5 blades and a pivoting flex ball designed to get virtually every hair on the first stroke while washing away dirt and oil. So you're ready for the day with a clean shave and a clean face.
In New England, we are resilient. It takes hard work to earn respect. Sometimes it takes decades. And it always takes someone being on your side.
Order ahead on the Dunkin' app to get running on game day. Whether you're a Patriots fan or a Dunkin' fan. DD Perks members get a $1 medium hot or iced coffee when you order from the app on Patriots game day.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
Belichick, no Arians, he.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
Patriots get the win 45-0 over the Chargers in Los Angeles. We're taking your calls at 855-PATS-500. We go to Florida to talk to Robin. Hello, Robin.
Hey, guys.
What's going on?
Hey.
Real quick. I just want to kind of just say, I mean, we're paying this guy minimum wage. I mean, we're paying him nothing. He's gotten us to 500. And I just think it's like kind of ridiculous that we expect all this production from this guy. We're at 500. We're paying him $1 million. I mean, what do we expect?
Okay, Robin. I mean, we're all happy that they won today, but, you know, let's be real. I think we expected, you know, average NFL quarterback play.
He's getting paid $1 million.
Who cares what he's being paid for? Well, who cares about that?
And he's gotten us to 500. I mean, I'm not happy with his production. Don't get me wrong. His passes are terrible, and you know, he's not the greatest quarterback in the world. But I mean, top quarterbacks get paid $25 million, $30 million. We're paying this guy $1 million.
I don't know what that. So what? I don't know what the. I don't know what the.
Played.
I don't know what the point is.
First of all, he's going to make more like $7 million, but still, yes, he's as far as the NFL, that's vastly underpaid for a starting quarterback. I get it, but we know the situation.
That we're paying.
Yeah,
$1 million.
$1 million.
What is that like? What does what he's getting paid have to do with anything?
I just don't understand the production that we're expecting from a guy that's getting paid like basically
$1 million.
Stamp.
Okay.
Yeah, I just.
So you're telling me that they thought that he would throw for under 100 yards in games because they only paid him $1 million?
Exactly. I mean, that's
not true. Like there's no way anybody could possibly think that.
Right.
And to celebrate the fact that, you know, 13 weeks into the season, we just got to 500 is, I mean, embarrassing.
I don't care what you thought of Cam Newton coming in. Like, if he was overrated, blah, blah, blah. No one thought he was going to pass for these numbers. Come on.
Here's the thing.
Come on.
Here's the thing.
5 touchdowns.
If he were completing, and I'm not exaggerating, like 6 more passes per game and throwing for another 80 yards a game, right? And they had one more win out of it, they would have written him a check for the full $7 million for this year, and they'd be talking to him seriously about extending the contract. It's not like they're asking for a huge increase. It's like, oh, like you said, we thought maybe you would be a serviceable NFL passer. That's not the case. And if you were serviceable, you wouldn't be talking about $1 million anymore. They would have gone ahead and written the check and say, you know what, you're doing it. We're not going to make you, sing for your supper, so to speak. We're going to go ahead because you're obviously worth that much money.
Yeah.
I love the way things went today, but to think that.
Well, listen, I don't know if I agree with you totally, Hardy. All I know is that what we're watching is strange. It's strange.
Well, that's my point, Fred.
It's not normal.
Let's take all the other stuff aside.
I'll take the wins, but it's not normal.
Right, and take all the other stuff aside. I couldn't agree with you more, Fred. Like, you're telling me you're watching these games and you can't see that the coaches are scared to death
to let him throw the ball.
To let him throw the ball down the field on like 3rd and 10?
Yeah.
Like, that's not normal.
Yeah.
That's what you do for inexperienced backup quarterbacks that are, trying to fill the void. You know what I mean? Like, I watched Taysom Hill today, who I don't think can play the position, by the way. And I saw him, like, dropping back on 3rd and 17 and throwing bullets over the middle. Now, they struggled. He's not that good. But that's what you have. Like, I don't care. Like, what difference does it make what they paid Cam Newton in guaranteed money? And Fred's right. He's going to end up making closer to $8 million than $1 million.
Yeah.
For the season.
Right.
Because he's going to play the whole year. Right? What difference does it make what he makes? You're not expecting to throw. Do you know he became the first guy since 1978 to win back-to-back games, attempting 15 or more passes and compiling less than 100 yards?
And
winning.
I'll frame it a different way. What if the agent came to Bill Belichick and says, my quarterback is going to throw for like 80 yards a game? How much will you pay him? Bill would say nothing.
I'm not going to pay him anything.
I don't want him.
Right. That's like I'm only half
Doesn't
joking
matter.
when I tell you, like, he's overpaid.
And that's what makes it so strange. Back-to-back wins, and your starting quarterback has, in those 2 wins, thrown for less than 160 yards total.
Listen, God bless Cam Newton for not having given up. That he's still in there, giving it his all.
And contributing in other ways.
That's God bless him,
Yes.
and God bless the whole team and every coach for figuring out how to do this.
I give the entire operation. That's where I'm with Fred. I can't believe this is like bizarro world. I'm totally with you. I give the operation all the credit in the world.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, there aren't very many quarterbacks that couldn't win doing what you did the last 2 weeks.
Right.
If you can find a way to win with that little offense the last 2 weeks, there's not many quarterbacks that couldn't do that. Just try not to fall down and hand the ball away to someone else. That's how you won. That's how you won today.
Yeah.
Stay out of the way and let the defense and the special teams win it.
Let's go to Mark in California. Mark, you're on the Patriots postgame show. What's up?
Hey, what's up, guys? That's a great Patriot win today.
Hey, Mark.
I can't believe that last caller. He sounded like a moron.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion on this show, but but this is weird.
Make nothing, and they play their hearts out. They're not saying like, "Hey, I'm only making $1 million. Okay, what do you expect from me?" That doesn't make any sense.
No, it's not so much about Cam. It's about us and criticizing him when he's only making that much money. And I'm sorry. I feel out of everybody here, I probably pay the least amount of attention to what the contracts are because I don't think it matters. I think when you reach this level, especially when you're Cam Newton, even
You're professional.
Yeah, well, I mean, he knows who he is and what he means to the league, and the paycheck. It's not secondary at this point, but he knows he's a former MVP. He's been to a Super Bowl. There's a certain expectation in terms of level of play, and that's why Cam says it week after week after week. Not just us saying it; it's Cam saying it. That he knows he's not playing well enough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much Myers is making, but if he played the wide receiver position like Cam is playing quarterback, we'd be criticizing Myers.
Right.
It doesn't matter what they're making.
It doesn't. Right, correct.
Exactly.
What else do you
I
have,
was going to say, I don't think Cam can put touch on the pass anymore. Looked like he missed Myers wide open in the end zone for a back shoulder fade throw. And it seems like he only can make those throws to Bird on those comebacks, but all his throws just look so funky. So, yeah, we won today, but if we have to get into a shootout like that again, like we did with Seattle, I don't think he can make those throws. So that's the only issue I have with Cam right now because I don't expect him to get to, like, the 20-yard line and throw a touchdown pass. They're going to try to run it or get a field goal. That's what they do.
Well, it's not going to be conventional. We saw that today. I mean, between the special teams and the defense and really on offense where they weren't perfect, but the things that they did execute, they executed very well, and they were not the traditional 2020 NFL passing types of yardages and completions and everything else that you would normally see a team move the ball downfield. And they were given pretty good field position on a lot of those possessions, so they didn't have to. What was their total yards? Paul brought it up earlier in terms of total offense today.
290 something.
Right. They scored 45 points and had less than 300 yards.
Yeah. And it brings
it's not normal.
Well, really 31 plus some short fields.
Yeah. Yeah. And it felt like a win from last year. Like they would get these block punt touchdowns and we got three different interceptions.
They basically had two scoring drives today. The first one of the day. And then the one that made it 21-0.
Yeah, it's almost like the baseball team that manufactures runs.
Yeah, and they're smart.
They're manufacturing
they know how to do it.
Right.
They know what their weaknesses are. They know what they have to avoid and where their mistakes come from. And when the game unfolds right, it works. But
when it happens like this, it's of course we're all going to take it. I mean, given this, or would you rather see a quarterback throw for 450 yards and for some strange reason they only scored 17 points?
Right.
That we see that. Not week in and week out, but occasionally throughout an NFL season where somebody just has a great passing day, but it doesn't result in any points.
Okay, so here's their scoring drives today. 13 for 75 to open the game. Outstanding. We all
good balance.
Wildcat. But we all mentioned a lot of different elements of that drive as part of our good list, right?
Yep.
The play calling, the running, the physicality, all that. So that was an excellent drive. Then they got a punt return for a touchdown, and then they went 16 plays to go 54 yards.
Yeah, and that's them.
And that was aided by two penalties. One that was huge, right? The legal hands to the face on 3rd and long. But again, I'm going to call that a scoring drive. 16 plays, you were able to get in the end zone at the end of the half. Then it's a blocked field goal for a touchdown. Then it's a touchdown drive, 7 plays, 32 yards off of the Winovich pick. Then it's a field goal, 4 plays, 3 yards on the second gunner, the thing. And
plotting.
Then, at the end they get the Stidham touchdown in garbage time. So, offensively, You did what you needed to do today. You didn't turn the ball over. You stayed out of the way and let the defense and the special teams dominate.
Like 6 plays, 6 yards a clip. You
And
know,
I worked hard, by the way, but I came up with a bad.
Oh.
Has nothing to do with the Patriots.
Who dis?
They didn't get any help. What? The Path didn't get any help today.
Oh, that's good. That's
they
a
had,
good point.
They had a
They
chance.
had a real chance.
There was a 5-minute. There was a 5-minute period at the end of the 1:00 games that the Patriots had a chance to get a lot of help from the Colts and the Raiders, and it went bad in like a span of literally consecutive plays. I already mentioned, Fred, that that is what tanking looks like.
The Jets.
What the Jets did, calling a zero coverage all-out blitz on 3rd and 10 from around midfield with time for 1 or 2 more plays is coaching malpractice, as someone called it on Twitter. And the Raiders end up stealing a game and staying alive, for lack of a better term. And the Colts were on the verge of going down in the last 2 minutes. The Texans are inside the 10, and they botch a snap, and the Colts recover and escape with the win that they had to have. Could have got some help there.
Yeah.
Now those teams are in good shape. Cleveland beating Tennessee also was not a good result. So Tennessee, Indy, Cleveland are all in good shape to win 11 games. They're in pretty good shape to win 11 games. So they're putting themselves in a situation where you can't catch them, even if you do win out.
Yeah.
So that's the only bad I have today.
We have an email here from Daniel. Anybody else worried about Cam's health if he continues to play Tim Tebow-style quarterback power football? Looking at a game like Tennessee had today, is there worries about how this team would look if the team played?
They gotta have it. It's got to be part of him.
It's what he's going to have to do if he's going to continue to be. I mean, that's how he's going to contribute.
Yeah.
I mean, and when you look at those Wildcat snaps, especially on that first drive, we're thinking like, when's Cam actually going to catch one here? Like in terms of like how he's going to.
That'll come.
That's happening, right?
Oh yeah.
That's next.
Maybe he can play tight end next year.
So it's not a bad idea.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah, it's almost like it's not the first time that's been brought up. Superman! Kevin in San Francisco. What's up, Kevin?
Hey, boys. Great show as always. Obviously excited at a personal level for a lot of the players today having great games, and we all want to do well at our job. But 5 minutes after that game was over, I just walked away feeling like we just put more cologne on a cadaver. And what happens? What do you think the odds are, guys? If all of a sudden we miracle 9-7, 10-6, what do you think the odds are that we get Cam Newton back? And I'm with Paul. I don't want to sign up for this at all. So what are your thoughts there?
I'm on that train as well. I mean, I'm kind of looking at this as somewhat of a lame duck offense, hopefully, where, I think for one season it's been fine. I think for what they were trying to do, it's better than imagining with Stidham. But I'm with you. I'd like to find something new. I just don't think Cam is going to get better. I don't think he's going to progress in this offense. I think they've gotten as much out of him as they can. I think today was a prime example, and that's how every game has to go with him.
We have an email here from Saki from Ghana. Subject line, was Fred's donut on the counter? Hello, Hardy.
It's gone.
If so, that is not sanitary, even in the absence of COVID.
No, we wiped down everything.
I didn't see you wipe down before you put the donut down.
Listen, I'll eat it off the floor.
Oh,
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I have a stomach of steel.
On to the football. I am shocked they won by this much. What does this say about our team? Does this game, this 45-0 win over the Chargers today, does it say anything about the Patriots that we haven't said before, that we didn't say last week?
No, they're well coached.
No, yeah.
They're well coached. And listen, we've talked all season about let's see what the young kids can do. And I mean, when you see Uche, shooting that gap, he gets there fast.
He does. He's quick.
I mean, that's speed we haven't really had on our defense for a while. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the development of Winovich. I'm excited about Duggar. This is good stuff. Butler keeps making plays.
Building blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Russell in Arkansas. Low-key really appreciate the zoom in on Fred's donut and then watching Fred wolf it down before the break. Just curious if he even tasted it.
Did you eat it before the break?
Yeah, and it was like a purple frosting. It wasn't even chocolate.
Hardy started to
like
read,
sometimes
Fred
it's
was already
chocolate, but
deep
they
on
color it. So, it might be purple, but it's still chocolate. This was purple, and it tasted like something else.
Disappointment.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's like when you think you're getting a blueberry muffin, but it's actually chocolate chip.
Yeah, I've never been a frosting person. Like, I like cake,
See,
but
I would look
not
at that
the
the
frosting.
opposite way.
Yeah.
It's when you think you have a chocolate chip muffin and it turns out to be blueberry.
Blueberry.
Oh, no. I can't do chocolate chip muffins.
And not my favorite thing either, but I can't stand blueberries.
Oh, you don't like blueberry? What's the matter with you?
Antioxidants.
What's the last time you've had a blueberry?
Good for You're right. I tell you what, they'll make you regular.
When did you stop eating blueberries?
Gas through a funnel.
He doesn't have that problem.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
When did you stop eating
I could
blueberries?
use some help there.
Too much pepperonis.
What?
When did you stop eating blueberries?
When did he
When
start?
I realized I don't like them.
When was that? Like when you were 4?
No.
When's the last time you had
Why
a
do you
blueberry?
just assume that anybody that doesn't like a food doesn't try it?
Because blueberries are good. How
No,
can you
but
not
that-
like blueberries?
That's fine. I'm sure there's a lot of
Pick
things
your
that I
own
like
right
that
there
you
and-
don't. I mean, but I wouldn't say
I
like.
think you should give it another shot. That's all I'm
like I
saying.
don't get that.
Pregame.
You can try that with Eric. Not me.
Pregame on Thursday. Let's just float it out there now. Everyone's going to have to name a food that they don't like that the rest of the world does. Okay? And I think
I probably have a lot of them.
Yeah, I have a couple.
Yeah.
There's a couple.
Mine are all green.
Yeah, but not everybody likes.
Not everybody
those.
likes vegetables.
Yeah, but you just pick one. You can tell us before the end of the post game here today,
Okay.
Fred.
To me, it
All
would
right?
be like seafood. Lobster.
Oh my God,
Scotch.
I'm with you. And living
Does,
here.
Does alcohol count as a food?
Yeah.
Not really.
Peter in Wilmington says, "Who is blocking Bosa? Must have been doing a great job." What Bosa for most of the day?
I mean, I saw on Wenyu most of them, but I don't know. He never really popped. He never really caught my eye in the game.
I know.
I don't know.
I
He
thought-
never
They
really-
didn't pass a lot.
I thought, and I think that's a good point. They only threw 20 passes, and I thought Bosa was in the backfield a lot.
Yeah.
He got called for roughing the passer. He got a play that he ended up forcing Newton to get rid of the ball when he was coming from the front side. It was finally one of those front side pressures that he seemed to sense instead of taking the sack. I thought him and Kenneth Murray were two of the few Chargers today that actually showed up.
Yeah, and it seemed like the game plan specifically. I mean, granted, it feeds right into not throwing the ball that much, but I thought right out of the gate, you just saw Harris, Wildcat, little pop pat. You know, there's no third down drop back passing really. You know, you just don't have a chance to let Bosa tee off.
FedEx Air and Ground Players of the game, gentlemen.
That was the play, I believe. The legal hands to the face on David Andrews.
Oh,
You know, the guy who
yeah, right.
I think that was the play that Bosa had the hurry and forced the bad throw, and it got wiped out. That was another play. Yeah.
Regardless of how egregious that was, when the helmet comes off.
You're going to
that
get
flag's-
called for that every time.
flag's coming out.
Going to get called for that every time.
Yep. FedEx Air and Ground Players of the game. Yeah, Deuce.
Can I get the air?
Yeah,
I wanna get
you
the
got
air.
it, baby.
I got the air.
You want to know why you're engaged and you're smiling and you
'Cause
get
it's a
it.
win.
You get it.
45 zip.
You get it.
I'm not going to pick Nick Folk. Sorry. I'm going to say Gunnar Olszewski. You know, caught the punt return. I thought it broke the game open. I don't know. You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah,
I
that's
think we
kind
have
of a stretch
FedEx
there.
Air.
I
I think we
Calling
have
that
very,
air.
very liberal
Nobody-
definitions of
kind
air.
of stretching.
Well, nobody caught
I'm
more than
saying
2
no.
passes.
I'm saying no on that.
No?
I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No?
Eh.
Go back to the drawing board, dude.
You might have to go with Folk.
Folk?
I'll tell you who I'd give the air player. to.
Okay, you know what? You've lost it. Now
All
you're
right,
going to have to
fine.
come up with the ground.
Fine.
Go ahead,
I
Paul.
would give it to Jarrett Stidham. Comes in 2 for 3, 61 yards, just shy of Cam Newton's total for the game.
Have a good night, folks.
I can't believe I'm losing to this
With
guy.
a touchdown. 149.3 passer rating.
You're right, Paul. You nailed it. What was I thinking?
Quarterback controversy?
Who's the one who
Hold on,
caught more
let
than
me-
2
No,
passes?
I don't
Oh,
know
nobody.
what. I seriously, I don't know what you would do necessarily
Gunnar
for.
caught a touchdown. He took a couple punts that went
no
through
one
the
caught more
air.
than 2 passes. That's astounding.
You know, I don't know.
Nikhil Harry?
The pass is a little bit, it's a little bit of struggle. That's why I'm going. Gunnar Olszewski caught a big touchdown pass, his first of his career.
38 yada.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Nah.
Ground?
I'm going to go with your guy, Damian Harris.
Damo.
Nice.
The omen.
I thought he was solid. 16 for 80 in this game. Right
Got
back
him
to his
going.
normal 5
He
yards
looked
a
good.
carry, which was good after the last 2 weeks where he was under 4. I'd like to see that bounce back. I thought he was good early in this game. The last couple of games, I think he set the tone by not being very productive early on. I thought he broke some tackles. Those wildcat plays looked like he gave them a little bit of push. So Damian Harris, 16 carries, 80 yards, solid day.
I watch him different. You know, like I'm starting to watch him different in that it seems like every carry he has, it's just a question of does he get through the line right there? Because he doesn't sometimes. But when he does, it's that you just see it that moment where it's like, boom, and then he's off, and he's through, and he accelerates into the second level. And you just, when I watch Sony, it's always just kind of like brace for first contact and hope he gets through it. But this one, it's just every carry, it's like, can he just get through the line right there? And, he runs with such a burst right there that he's tough to contain. It's fun to watch. And I thought it was great that they came out, they handed it to him. They just got, like, this is what you're good at. Do it,
Yep.
And that's what they got rolling.
And Sony, by the way, I mean, he wasn't great, but 10 carries for 35 yards. I thought most of his unproductive carries were late in garbage time. I thought this was the opposite of a normal Sony game where he gets the sort of pops a 12-yarder late to make it look better than it was.
Yeah.
I think he had a couple of 2-yarders late that made it look worse than it was. I thought the first couple of times he touched the ball, he got first downs, he broke tackles, he ran hard. And I think it was good to get him 10 carries, get him back in the flow in case, you might need him if Harris starts getting banged up a
I was
little
going to
bit.
ask you about that. What did you think about his reps? Yeah.
That's what I was saying to Megan, too, was we talked about Sony being a guy who could catch coming out of college. Maybe if Burkhead being out, maybe they, we saw him have a nice catch. Maybe they kind of try to change his role a little bit. They're like, look, Harris is doing great in this early down role. Like, let's just kind of
struggling a little bit.
I think so.
They've
I think
kind of
he's
sniffed him out.
I think so. Maybe that's something to look at, Sony in that kind of Rex mode where he maybe
23-yard catch for Sony, and
I was going to say he
and
could
a
be the FedEx
15-yard
Air
catch
player
for
of the
Harris.
game. Yeah, the 23-yard reception.
Well, that's just silly. I mean, Gunnar had a 38-yarder for a touchdown.
So once again, FedEx Air and Ground players of the game: Gunnar Olszewski and Damian Harris. You ask about Sony
Listen,
Michel.
when you throw for 69 yards every game, it's hard to come up with an air player.
I understand.
the ball wasn't in the air a lot.
59.
Jake Bailey. Maybe Jake Bailey should have been.
I was surprised that he ended up with
money, huh?
He is good.
I was surprised that Sony ended up with 10 carries, but unfortunately for me, the one that kind of stands out is one when
when he went like this.
He hits the line and goes up. He's like, you know what I'm going to do?
Jump over him.
And I'm not going to lower the shoulder and try and power through this
Just going to
tackle.
keep running.
Don't lower the shoulder. Just go over.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to kind of go up and slow down a little bit, see what happens. Let me answer that for you, Sony. Nothing good.
I think he was okay. I think he was.
He was okay.
He was okay.
He was okay.
And like I said, I think that the least productive carries he had were garbage time when they were just running the clock.
Yeah, I thought he was okay.
He still
and he
looks
ran
like
hard.
Sony. He still looks like Sony.
Yeah.
I like Harris better. Don't get me wrong.
Melvin in Tennessee, before we take a quick break here, what do you have for us, Melvin?
What's up, y'all? What's going on?
Hey, Mel.
Hey. I just wanted to know you all's assessment about Dietrich Wise, because it feels like sometimes before the season he's on the bubble, like he could be cut. We really don't know where he's going to be at. But then he pops up and has like these occasional good games. I think he's a good player, but I don't know. I don't know exactly if I want him a part of the future or what. What's you all's assessment of Wise, and where do you want him to be maybe going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's ever going to be a player that an offense has to game plan for, but he's a good complementary role player.
Yeah,
you know?
I think so. I don't think he really, fits a traditional defensive tackle role for them. I think he's kind of a tweener, and so they use him in passing situations, and I think he's improved over the years. I think that he's improved his strength. That was a big thing we talked about this year. He got bigger. I think he, understands his moves a little bit. But I agree. I mean, I think, look at him hitting free agency. I think Adam Butler is, the better player at that kind of role, and I think he's more the player to reserve. But he's a great guy. He's a great locker room guy. He's a ton of fun. So that always kind of colors how you feel about
your guy. Guy had a good game.
Guy.
Oh, yes, he did.
He did. Nice sack, and I mean, it's just like we were talking about on the defense. I mean, everybody's making a couple plays here and there, and that's the sign of good team defense.
All right, couple more calls, and we'll hear from both the head coach and the quarterback after the 45-0 shellacking of the San Diego Superchargers of Los Angeles in L.A. today.
Shellacking.
I like it.
Underused word.
As we continue on the Patriots postgame show from Gillette.
Ready or not. Gillette Pro Glide and Pro Glide Gel. 5 blades and a pivoting flex ball designed to get virtually every hair on the first stroke while washing away dirt and oil. So you're ready for the day with a clean shave and a clean face.
This is the place to play for $1 million in week 1. DraftKings, land of the millionaire. Football is back. Time to let your competitive streak. Download the app and take your shot at $1 million. DraftKings.
For over 60 years, this team has transformed itself into a championship organization. For over 160 years, our team has demonstrated a similar mentality. There are no days off. Our front lines are fortified by people who sacrifice individuality for the team. Our shelves are also stocked with the best quality products and ingredients. Our team members know their roles. We're proud to do our jobs. Shaw's, the official supermarket of the 6-time champion New England Patriots.
Ready or not. Gillette Pro Glide and Pro Glide Gel. 5 blades and a pivoting flex ball designed to get virtually every hair on the first stroke while washing away dirt and oil. So you're ready for the day with a clean shave and a clean face.
This is the place to play for $1 million in Week 1. DraftKings, land of the millionaire. Football is back. Time to let your competitive streak. Download the app and take your shot at $1 million. DraftKings.
For over 60 years, this team has transformed itself into a championship organization. For over 160 years, our team has demonstrated a similar mentality. There are no days off. Our front lines are fortified by people who sacrifice individuality for the team. Our shelves are also stocked with the best quality products and ingredients. Our team members know their roles. We're proud to do our jobs. Shaw's, the official supermarket of the 6-time champion New England Patriots.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
Behind 2 soundproof doors, Brad Feldman's still loud enough to be heard.
That's great.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
Right back to your calls, 855-PATS-500. What is it, Fred? I can see you hatching one over
we were
there.
just talking about the Revs. I'm pissed.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, Matt Turner got peppered early in that game.
He did. I was watching the first half. He kept him in the game.
Yeah, he did.
But Obushku, or whatever his name is,
Adam Buksa.
He comes in. He's got the shot, and he's on the side. He shoots with his left foot. If you shoot with your right foot, you have the whole angle of the goal. Why do you go with your left foot?
Well, I mean, if a player is more comfortable, kicking.
I know, but you've cut off so much of the goal by doing that.
The man's incredible. Not only every run play that the Patriots have ever had should have gone for a touchdown.
Yeah.
But now
if they work, they did.
All Revs plays should result in goals.
I haven't seen it.
If he had just kicked it with his right leg.
If you have so few chances, you have to.
I didn't see it, so I cannot be critical of his criticism.
Yeah.
So maybe he's absolutely right.
I'm just
that's soccer.
Going more, in general.
Thank you. They don't call him the best color man in the business for nothing. That's soccer.
This is funny.
Ramsey's
Greg Rosenthal from the NFL Network has a tweet here. The Patriots have punted 4 times. Here are the number of charges on the field for each. 11. 11 with an exclamation point. 10, 12, 10.
I said that coaching staff should be fired on the spot.
Oh, yeah, they should be fired tonight.
Yeah, Andy had a good tweet during the game. He said they should just get rid of Anthony Lynn now and have Josh coach the 4th quarter just to see how it goes.
Ramses, what's going on?
Ramses.
Hey, guys. I just want to say, Mike, I really like the sweater. Very festive.
Oh, thank you. I had to wear something nice.
I got a question for you guys. If Cam is not the future, how do we move forward? And one of the things that I've been thinking about, and I'm sure everyone's been thinking about it, is Matthew Stafford with the Lions. It's going to be a new coach coming in. Do you explore the possibilities of trading for him, or looking at the situation that's going on in Philly right now with Carson Wentz, is that someone that you target?
If they could get Matthew Stafford, I'd jump at that. But that's not the future.
It's not. It's 2-3 years.
Right. That's just a bridge.
Yeah.
I just don't know if Bill needs the future. I think if he thinks there's a quarterback that he could win a Super Bowl with, he's not thinking bridge. He's just thinking next couple years.
Yeah, I would take Stafford. Wentz is pretty much impossible because of financial reasons, but I would definitely take Stafford. He's pretty affordable, and I think he's attainable. I think you could probably make a deal that you could get him. Now, do you want to give up a first-round pick for him?
No.
Maybe not.
No.
Then forget it then.
No.
I'm sorry. I thought that was in play.
This is not the week to even be thinking about it.
I would.
It's not the week to be thinking about it, and much less, reaching out about it. Lions coming off a big win against the Bears.
Big.
They're thinking to their future too.
That roar.
Week.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All they do is win. What do you want from me?
Roar restored.
Bree in California. Hello, Bree.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Bree.
Hi. This is my first time calling, and I just wanted to honestly say thank you. I feel like I became a Patriots fan kind of late in the game. My husband got me into them, but I found you guys a few years ago, and I feel like even when we lose, it's just so nice to listen to you guys and kind of commiserate. So first of all, I just really appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bree.
Yeah, and then second of all, I guess my question would be, since we won today, what do you guys think about Edelman coming back? Do you think that that's a possibility now, or do you think they're going to wait and see if we beat the Rams?
It's interesting.
I think it's up to Jules. I mean, obviously the health is first, and he has to come off the COVID list. But I don't think they'll ever move him to IR or anything. They'll just, if he's able to go and they can get him back even for a game, I think they'll let him. I think it'll just be up to his health. And if they're in the mix and something, the last game comes down and they could get him back, I could see it. I just don't think they'll shut him down and be like, that's it. Like if he has a chance to come back, they'll let him.
The nice thing about Edelman is, and Bree, thank you for the call, and don't be a stranger. Call again. Appreciate it.
I will.
The nice thing about Edelman is that it is in no way going to inhibit what you're trying to do. The only way I can see it actually hurting you is if he's only going to be available as a receiver in those situations where we've seen him for years, where Tom Brady utilized him in those spots underneath, pinpoint accuracy. The ball has to be in that one place where only he can get it. Okay, now you might be taking, if you feel the need to get him involved, that's not going to work in this offense.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's not going to hurt you having him out there, I don't think.
I can't. It has to be an addition. Even if he's double teamed. Okay, so since he's left, Myers has gotten better, Bird's gotten a little bit better, and the attention paid to Edelman has to help them even more. Now, if they don't pay attention to Edelman, then you go to Edelman. So I can't see it hurting them to bring him back.
Right.
And I would definitely use the game day roster spot for him.
Well, it's kind of like 2015 where he was out and then he came back against the Chiefs for the playoffs, right? And then he was a little banged up, but same thing. I think there'll always be a spot for him as long as he wants.
Yeah, I think if they beat the Rams, he could be back from Miami, right?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. I know you said we were going to the coach, but there's no way I'm going to make Chris and Camp Pendleton wait. So Chris, yes, thank you for your service. What's going on, Chris?
Hey, what's going on? Thank you for taking the call, guys. And I know I didn't use my call sign here, so this is actually also Lars in Camp, also known as.
Hoorah!
Hoorah! Thanks for taking the call, guys. And can I just quickly make a reference back to the Thursday pick show at PU when someone accused Paul of having a white fake Christmas tree? And literally, as soon as it happened, it burst into my head. I saw Henry Hill coming through the door saying, "Karen, I got the most expensive one they have."
You heard me say, we think I'm Henry Hill, right?
Yeah, within seconds. Paul said, "I'm like, oh my God, I listened to the show too much." But anyway, I would fight that accusation quickly as Paul did. And anyway,
I believe I'm the one that accused him.
You did.
Yeah. Which I'm glad you're on the show today, Fred. Which nice addition to the post game, by the way, to having Fred on quite often this year.
Well,
so
we think so too.
It's all about the COVID.
Some of us don't necessarily agree, but okay.
Eric.
Yeah, you got a lot of Fred time in the week, Paul.
Yeah.
And dude. So my question for you guys is, I just keep hearing these fears that if the Patriots play well enough to at least compete for a playoff spot, you guys have discussed all the scenarios, and the path is looking not great, but even if they went out. But whatever happens there, I'm seeing kind of a straw man with this idea that, that's going to get Cam re-signed. Because I think, you think you guys were talking about the other day within this call, or this show, but the idea that, you can see the wins and, he's contributing and whatever, but you also see how he's playing, how he's playing. And I can't think that the coaches aren't seeing even more of that in practice. And like you said, I think it was Paul who said it, that you can tell by the way that they're calling the game that they're trying to avoid putting him in situations that you would love to have a quarterback who can handle those situations, right? At a minimum, you want somebody who can throw on 3rd and 8. And I don't think they're willing to do it with Cam. So can you debunk this idea or kind of explain to me where there is any scenario that the coaches would say, yeah, this deserves another go-around? Because I am starting to really think of this Matt Stafford thing as an opportunity for a bridge. And I guess my question to follow that up is, for a bridge, what do you think is a decent window for a player at that stage in his career, maybe 2 or 3 years before you have a young guy come in, or 2 or 3 years to develop a young guy unless you have someone overtake him? But is that reasonable? Kind of like a Peyton Manning in Denver situation. And thanks for letting me have the time, guys.
I appreciate it. Thanks. Is that the type of time frame you think the team is looking at and working with? Does that suit what they want to do?
Here's
I'd
a
be happy
question
for
I have.
1 year.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be any length of time for me.
Yeah, here's a question I have. Do you think it's more likely that the future of the Patriots will come as a top 10 draft pick or a quarterback taken elsewhere?
B. Yeah, B. And it's no guarantee, but I don't see them getting into the top 10. I don't know how they're going to get there.
Well, they can't this year.
They can't this year, and if you take Stafford, you're not going to. You didn't take him to.
I think they'd have to lose out, or at least lose 3 out of 4.
You didn't take him to be Nick Foles,
right? You want to be 2-14 with Stafford, then you can have anyone to do that.
Well, but it doesn't have to if they run it back with Cam, I think you're in play again to be a bad team. So. Can you get in the top 10 doing that? I don't know.
It relates kind of to a thought, and this is probably something to discuss this week on the show, because I just popped into my head of all the discussions we've had about quarterbacks top 10. It just seems like it's easy to make a case that just you could trade your whole draft if you could get that guy. It's worth it. It's worth it to trade your whole draft to get that quarterback, to get Trevor Lawrence, and figure the rest of it out. And that's something probably for another time, but. I think they're going to try to find some guy in those mid rounds and try to develop. They'll take a couple. I'm a fan of as many guys as possible. Like just have a veteran backup. That I don't know, whatever, a guy from San Francisco. Then Nick Mullins, like not him specifically, but somebody who's had some experience, maybe hasn't had a chance, and draft a rookie, bring Stidham back, and then But I don't know what the scenario is with Cam. It's just I think it's time invested maybe. That there's no other real options, and they're like, we've invested this time with him. Let's give him some more time. That's the only reason. I don't want it. I think I'm good with this year with Cam, but
me too.
That's what I think I could see them. I don't completely rule it out.
All right, let's go to the head coach here, and we thank Microsoft, the official sideline technology provider and laptop of the NFL and the New England Patriots, talking about the Microsoft Surface. That provides players and coaches the tools to succeed both on and off the field. Check out the amazing Surface Pro 7 2-in-1 laptop on their site, surface.com. Here's the head coach.
Just say I'm really proud of our football team today. Coming across the country, these guys have really worked hard, had a good week of preparation, really put a lot into it. We've got a lot of great leadership from, as always, our captains, but many of our other veteran players. Some of our younger players have really, stepped up their preparation levels as well. And it was nice to see it come together today. I thought we, had a game where all 3 units contributed. It was a complimentary game. We had plays from the offense, the defense, the special teams, and played with a good level for 60 minutes, and had more consistency than we probably had in most other games. But just really proud of the way the team competed. These guys, Chargers have a lot of good players, and we saw what Boza and those guys did to Buffalo last week, and we had some big plays in the kicking game, and these players have been working really hard on that all year, so it's gratifying to see those positive results come out. And offensively, this is a very, very talented, skilled group of players: tight ends, backs, the quarterback, obviously the receivers. So I thought our guys really stepped up and competed against them, and so it's good to get a solid win here today. And we obviously got to turn the page quickly and get ready for another really good football team here, a very talented team with the Rams and Coach McVay and his staff. So really good win for our team. It's a bit of a heavy heart for Tracy's family, and sorry to hear about her passing. She's been with the Patriots and given us a lot of support all the time I've been here, even going back to '96. And they they've always been there to, to help support us at the stadium. And so, pass along on behalf of the team, pass along our condolences to her and with her family. So, look forward to, again, turn the page on this one and getting started here. It's nice to be able to go back to UCLA, Coach Kelly, and the UCLA staff. Been great. Their accommodations and their willingness to help us, with all of our needs, and especially in these difficult times. But Chip and his staff and the facilities they have are great, but the accommodations that they've made for us have been great, and we look forward to having a productive week here. Get ready for Thursday night. So, all right, I think that's it for me.
Thank you, Coach. We'll start with Ben Volen, followed by Yanni Caracas.
Hey, Coach. Your defense, obviously a big shutout today, but have you noticed this unit with a lot of new faces this year? Do you feel like they're starting to come together now as the season, moves along?
I think our entire team has gotten better. Pretty much weekly. We just do things better than we've done before. There's still plenty of room for improvement. I'm not saying we're there yet or anything by any means, but we just do things better. Our anticipation's better. Our reactions are quicker and better. That's true in all phases of the game. So definitely true on defense, but it's been the case all the way around. Our fundamentals, our execution, our ability to make adjustments and put in new things that we feel like could help us for a particular game or situation. So we just got to keep grinding, just keep trying to get better day by day. It's not going to all happen at once. It didn't all happen at once, but I think with our work ethic and our attitude and our willingness to try to improve, that we've been able to do a better job of coaching and playing complementary football and doing things just better individually and collectively as a team. So hopefully we can continue to do that.
Next question, Yanni Caracas, followed by Dan Roach.
Hey, Bill, with weeks where the defense maybe carried the team, weeks with the offense or the special teams, to have it all come together, all three units on the same game, as a head coach, how does that make you feel when all three phases really do what you ask them to do?
All right. Well, it's similar to what happened last week. We had explosive plays in the kicking game last week and had them this week, and had some big plays offensively and defensively. So again, it's great when everybody, all the units are able to contribute and we can play complementary football. That's always our goal. It's always how we try to prepare to play each week. This doesn't always work out quite the way it has the last 2 weeks, where we're scoring on special teams or or setting up big field position swings, but it's always nice when that happens. So just proud of how hard our guys have worked and how those little things become big things, become big plays. And like I said, the leadership that we've gotten from each of the respective sides of the ball has been very important in that constant diligent attempt and effort to just steadily improve as the season's gone along.
Next question, Dan Roach, followed by Alex Barth.
Hi, Bill.
Ben.
Stanley Morgan, Irving Fryer, Julian Edelman, now Gunner, the only players in Patriots history to have a punt return for a touchdown and a touchdown reception in the same game. And Gunner was quick to point out that he also had a special teams tackle. How good do you feel for him for what he was able to do, especially after having that one called back last week?
Yeah, it's happy for Gunner but he got a lot of help on those plays as well, and he did a good job and finishing the runs and making some guys miss. But if we can just get those returns started, and Justin and John, Slater, Cody, and those guys did a good job of getting them started, and he did a good job of finishing the play. So yeah, happy for him. Obviously, his career is not the classic way of an NFL career, given where he came from, and Yak and there's other guys like that. But yeah, happy for the success that they've had. I mean, Gunner's worked extremely hard and overcome a lot. And he's not a big guy, but he's got a big heart and he plays hard.
Next question, Alex Barth, followed by Ian Steele.
Hey, Bill. You talked to us a couple times this year about how crucial the missed preseason reps were for some of the younger guys on the team. So I'm just wondering how big it was for you to be able to, in the fourth quarter, get some of those guys on the field and get them some live reps.
Well, I mean, it's nice to play people that didn't get a chance to play much, but it's I don't know how. I mean, it's nice. I don't know if, like, it's that valuable, but it's good to be able to do it. And
next question, Ian Steele, followed by Steve Sanchez.
Hi, Bill. We've heard your teams say that you want to be playing your best football after Thanksgiving. Do you sense that that's happening with this team right now, that they're playing their best football right now and moving forward to the end of the year?
We'll see. Every week's its own week in the NFL. We'll see where we are on Thursday. But I thought we did some good things today. But next week's a new week. Rams are a great football team. They're well coached. We've got a lot of great players. They're very difficult to play against. We all know that. So, just be time for us to, turn the page, start all over again. Have 4, whatever great days of preparation, and come back here and compete on Thursday night.
Thanks, Bill.
You're welcome.
And two final questions, Steve Sanchez, followed by Joe Reedy.
How you doing, Bill? This is your 55th game as a coach. That's good all time, Bill. How special was it? You started off as a special teams coach in the mid-'70s. How special of an effort tonight by that group? And just talk about Cam Acorn's, coaching this season for your team.
Yeah, well, I'll start with Cam and Joe Houston. And those guys, worked really hard. Obviously Joe Judge and Scott O'Brien. I mean, we've been very fortunate to, have great coaching here in the kicking game. And Cam, learned from Joe and has worked hard to work on a lot of things on his own. And nobody works harder than Cam. Cam's very well prepared and is an excellent teacher. And so he's done a good job for us. And again, we've been close on some plays at other points during the season that just ended up being just foul balls. But this week, even last week, we had some explosive plays that impacted the game. So of course, I'm happy to see those hit. And like I said, the whole unit, from of course Matt Slater, gives us great leadership in that group, but Justin and Cody, in particular, those three guys really are so crucial to everything that we do. And then we have a lot of other guys that obviously Nick's had some big plays for us, and Jake's done a good job, and Joe's just keeps firing strikes back there and solid in protection. And they just go right down the line, and we got a lot of the young guys contributing, and of course the returners, Gunner and Moncrief and, those guys have, stepped up as well. So it's a good core group. And like I said, it's nice to see all their hard work and extra film study and extra time in practice and, staying after practice to work on blocking kicks and stuff like that to, see that, pay off and the results in the game.
And last question, Joe Reedy, Los Angeles AP.
Hey, Bill, just as the way you are a fan of league history and stuff, what does it mean for you to move past Tom Landry for third most games? And then on special teams, did you think you guys would have the decided edge this week with Los Angeles's problems on special teams?
Well, Joe, we try to have the edge every week on special teams. We always want to try to have the edge against everybody we play. That's our goal every week. So, all these teams are good. They're all well prepared. We just hope that you can, find a way and have an opportunity to, do something that will really, impact the game and make a difference. So, you never expect it, but you always work toward that goal. And it's, like I said, nice when it happens. Look, I have a ton of respect for, all the coaches that, that I've been compared to over the years. And certainly Coach Landry is, one of the all-time greats. And, I have so much admiration for, him and Hallis and Lambeau. And go right down the line, like those guys made the game and taught us the game, either themselves or through their disciples. So, but honestly, I'm just trying not to, nobody really cares about that now. It's, we're in the middle of 2/3 of the way through the 2020 season. And, my focus is just try to do the best I can to help our team, win today and then prepare and go out and compete against the Rams. So, the rest of it, whatever it is, it is. The only reason why, I've won a lot of games is because I've coached a lot of good players, and players win games. And I've been fortunate to coach a lot of great players through the years. And, the reason we won today is because our players made big plays for us to win. And so that's, I've been very fortunate to have the opportunity to coach some outstanding players, and they've turned those into good teams.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Hello, there he is, the head coach after the 45-0 win over the Chargers in Los Angeles tonight. He is certainly happy with the special teams play and the defense play, and he mentioned some of the big plays on offense. There were important plays on offense. That's maybe the one phase of the game that was lacking a quote-unquote big play, but enough plays certainly to contribute to the effort tonight. 31 points.
Yeah, 3 for 3 in the red zone. I think that's what speaks to me is, finishing early, not settling for field goals and taking control of the game early by finishing with touchdowns. I think that's, that was a big key, I thought.
What did the coach say to you tonight, Fred, that stood out the most? What? No, you have to speak into the microphone.
I think there was a lot of waxing nostalgic.
Well, he was asked about Tom Landry.
He was asked, but he also took the question and ran with it. A lot of, it's 3 hours earlier, so it's only 6:09 there. But he was taking his time with the answers, and I'm feeling good about the win.
Yeah, I think he was too. All right, Paul.
No, I agree with you guys. I got nothing. If I add anything to that, it would be like 18 minutes of my life I couldn't get that.
All right. And on that note, we'll step aside. We'll come back, talk to Austin, and then hear from Cam Newton after the 45-0 shutout of the Chargers here on the Patriots Postgame Show.
Wow!
You gotta see the stats on that one. I shot at a TD, 14%. Defender distance, decimals. My only out, zero gravity, 6 points. Next Gen Stats powered by AWS.
My Caleb Sofa and Love Seat. With Bob's discount, you get both pieces for just $7.99.
$7.99? Are you joking?
Do I look like I'm joking?
Yes. You look like you're joking.
I'm serious.
Cool.
Get Bob's discount!
Please, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, it should fit. It should fit.
The take it back for something smaller with the CarMax 7-day money-back guarantee way. Whatever your way, that's the way car buying should be.
How do we inspire people to lead their healthiest lives? How do we bring everyone together so that healthcare finally works for all of us? We know how. We are the how. Optum. How well gets done.
Wow! You gotta see the stats on that one. I shot at a TD, 14%. Defender distance, decimals. My only out, zero gravity, 6 points. Next Gen Stats powered by AWS.
My Caleb Sofa and Love Seat. With Bob's discount, you get both pieces for just $7.99.
$7.99? Are you joking?
Do I look like I'm joking?
Yes. You look like you're joking.
I'm serious.
Cool.
Get Bob's discount!
Please, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, it should fit. It should fit.
The take it back for something smaller with the CarMax 7-day money-back guarantee way. Whatever your way, that's the way car buying should be.
How do we inspire people to lead their healthiest lives? How do we bring everyone together so that healthcare finally works for all of us? We know how. We are the how. Optum. How well gets done.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
Just enjoy the ride. Like, no, I'm not enjoying the ride.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
Yeah, you're welcome to email us, webradio@patriots.com, about the game or about portion control. Sometimes it's about eating the same foods, just eating less of them, as Fred and I were just discussing. That's what I'm trying to do.
Word. So you're going to stop at McDonald's and get a McRib to keep that up?
I'm not going to get 2 McRibs. I'm going to get a McRib.
All right, gotcha.
All right. Austin in Orlando. Hello, Austin. Thanks for calling the Patriots Postgame Show. What's going on?
Thanks for having me on, guys. Last week I called about Gunner because he almost made that touchdown, then it got called back. This week he finally did it and was also on the offense for once and scored a touchdown there. So I'm just curious, how well do you think this improves his stock to be on the team? I know the Patriots also let go of Isaiah Ford, so I'm just curious to how that wide receiver dynamic is flowing with him being involved in it a little bit more.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to be, a big part of the offense going forward. I think that was part of, Stidham being in. They were giving guys chances. But I think for Gunner, it's a great play. It's back-to-back. 2 great weeks for him where he's contributed to the team. It's the first time he's really done that.
Yep.
And I think, at least he's solidified his position as the punt returner on this team right now for the end of the season. As for, long-term, where does it go? Can he develop? I thought he looked pretty good at the start of training camp. And, I think he ran pretty well today and, found holes. And clearly he's, getting better and getting a degree of, comfortability.
It's funny with guys at his level, like they say, you've got to play special. If you want to make it in this league, you're going to have to, establish yourself in special teams.
Right.
But once you do that, you can't just do that. You have to at least be able to, unless you're a Matthew Slater, go out and make a catch once in a while.
Exactly. You have to be able to contribute in other areas and show. So, yeah, that was. I'd say it's a big step for Gunner. He might primarily always be the special teams guy, but can he give us anything else? Yeah, he's starting to show that he can. So,
and look at Julian Edelman. I think he kind of treaded water mostly as a punt returner for a little bit. I think that's a way to buy yourself time to improve and maybe find an opportunity.
Listen, it can't hurt.
No.
I love the way that one where he fielded the punt and just watched the flow of the blocking and then chose which way. That's great.
Said he sees the field. He's seeing the whole field. It's great.
I think it's just nice not to see him flying through the air before he gets tackled and gets helicoptered.
Yeah, I was much more impressed today. Last week, he had a huge play in the game last week, right? but he's running up and he's making a good play to come up and catch the ball, and he happened to run by the guy that was coming to tackle him because the punt was so short.
Right. Took it on the
Today, it was, he came down, surveyed it, made a move, cut to the outside, and he had the speed to take it to the house.
Right.
Much more impressive. Yeah, I think that he has solidified his spot on the team. I don't expect him to be a part of the offense. I think that was just sort of circumstantial. Late reps.
Very quickly, Cameron in Virginia wants to know if, for people who have been critical of Josh McDaniels this season, do you think he actually deserves more credit because of the way he's had to figure out a way to work with this offense?
I do.
Yeah.
I
think
do.
all along.
He's had to adjust too.
I don't know that people have been all that critical of Josh McDaniels.
Oh, they have.
Well, there was a
There's
couple
always
of
the play
couple of weeks ago.
calls.
Well, you get away from the run when the run is working. And yes, I was critical at that point. But after performances like we've seen the last couple of weeks, of course he deserves credit.
Yeah, and I just never get in like they ran it there, they should have passed it, and I just think there's a certain kind of art to calling a game and having an instinct, and sometimes you try things and it doesn't work, and that's all part of it. And I think he's gotten as much out of this offense as he can, and I hopefully they can continue to kind of build on what they've done. But I don't expect them to turn into the 2007 Patriots here in the last quarter of the season. They got to continue to do what they do, finding things like the Wildcat, finding ways to throw new wrinkles at teams. I think he's great at that.
I would like to hear from Cam, the quarterback, after the Patriots get the 45-0 win over the Chargers in L.A. tonight. Let's do that right now.
To get your take on the first drive, obviously a number of different looks from the team on that drive, culminated by your leap over the goal line. How do you feel that set the tone, particularly in regards to physicality?
Oh man, it was the right way we wanted to start the game, and we had that as a key to victory this week, and I think we hit pretty much most of them. Not only scoring on our first possession in the first half, but also in the second half as well. So, major kudos to the offense with that. But more or less, it was a great. It was set up by a great defense performance. We're having a great field position all game, and we just wanted to maximize it throughout the whole game.
Damian Harris talked about the mentality of your run plays and how it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the team when you're willing to put your body on the line the way that you are. What is your mentality on those plays, and do you see how it rubs off on other guys when you're willing to be that physical?
Yeah, I said, just be the hammer, not the nail, and God has blessed me with the stature that I have, and any time that I have opportunity to create some type of force or momentum, then I'm going to do it. But at the same time, I have to be cognizant of the position that I play. And when I need to get down, I have to get down.
Thanks.
Next question, Dan Roach, followed by Michael Hurley.
Hi, Cam. How great was it to see what the gun show was able to do today, along with the rest of the special teams?
Yeah. I mean, my man, I think he may get a not only the offensive player of the week with the tug, the special teams player of the week as well. I mean, just for him, I think this game was important because, just to see the maturation of him over the weeks. And last week he got, kind of slighted with the touchdown being called back. And for him to show up again, and I know Gunner gets all the praise by just being the runner more or less, but you see guys like Matthew Slater, Justin Bethel, predominantly the defense out there creating seams and avenues for guys to run. And anytime we play complementary football like that, when we get points without the offense having to do much, you're going to have turnouts just like you've seen today.
Next question, Michael Hurley, followed by Matt Vitor.
Hey Cam, when you win 45-0, maybe it's hard to pinpoint one spot, but if you would, could you take us back to that 4th and 2 decision on the opening drive? The coaches showing confidence in you guys to get that play. Just what was going on in your mind and everyone, and what did that do for everyone?
Yeah, that was big, and it's up to us as an offense to not blink, and for us to have that confidence from our coaches, it just speaks volumes. And if they believe in us that much, we got to uphold our end of the bargain.
Next question, Matt Vitor, followed by Ian Steele.
Cam, you've been such an advocate for N'Keal. to see him get a touchdown and make a nice play for it, is that the sort of thing you hope can kind of get the ball rolling for him and get him kind of some momentum that he hasn't maybe been able to get between some of the injuries and some of the other things he's had to face?
Well, say what you want. It's just a way for him to get his confidence up, with a big play on his part. I wouldn't say it was the best pass, but, for him to play as big as he has been playing, I think we're going to need that here moving forward more than ever. All right. Hey.
Next question, Ian Steele, followed by Levin Reed.
Were you smiling at Matthew right there? Was that Slater?
That's the Honorable Matthew Slater. I think for him, he does a great job with speaking. He speaks to the team after all the wins and losses. But he has a talent, man. And when you got leaders like that on your team, it's no wonder he's been able to be so impactful for, this organization as long as he has. He's just such a positive role model and the person that I admire and look up to, from afar. And, he just holds himself to such a high standard. And a lot of what the special teams, a lot of what this team is a direct indication of who Matthew Slater is. And when you got men like that on your team, the sky's the limit.
One more, if I could, Cam. Can you describe the difference in being pulled from the game up 30, 40 like you were today, as opposed to the San Francisco game, if you can wrap your head around that and, your performance has come this far?
Well, you still have a long way to go. And there's still some things I feel like I could have got better at and I need to get better at. But each and every day for me, I've always said it, and is just learning in this offense and gaining the trust of the coaching staff to be able to go for it on fourth down, to be able to put the ball in the air, to be able to, gain confidence in calling, plays or whatever it may be, from trick plays, regular plays, run plays, pass plays, no plays, whatever it may be. And, that's what, the standard is for me, and I just need to keep growing from it.
Thank you.
Levin Reed, followed by Karen Grigian.
Hey, Cam, last week you were able to get a goal line stop before halftime. This time you get a field goal block for a touchdown before halftime. Just talk about the momentum and the emotion that goes in. You guys are in that halftime knowing that you made a play like that.
Well, listen, anytime we get an opportunity to get big plays in the special teams, the numbers kind of tilt more in your favor to win. And today we got multiple plays from our special teams, and it impacted the game in the ways we wanted it to impact it. From Gunner making great decisions, making plays in the run in the return game, to guys just selling out on the field goal. We're going to need that more and more, as this season, keeps going the way it's going.
And last question, Karen Grigian.
Hey, Cam.
Hi.
You guys are kind of walking a bit of a tightrope when it comes to the postseason and kind of having to win out. I know you're not quite concerned with that, but what does a win like this do for your confidence moving forward as you head into the final games of the season?
Well, we just have to understand that we just got to take one game at a time. We understand what position we are in, and everything is pretty much in front of us. We just got to really hone in and focus on, the opponents that we have faced that week and maximize each and every opportunity that we do get. And I think if we keep that going on, we'll be in good graces.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, a little bit of excitement here at Gillette Stadium, but
The
for
last
Cam
time that
Newton-
happened was during a post-game show, right?
Houston.
Last year.
Houston.
That's right. A couple of alarms going off here. Maybe it's just because the Patriots are so hot.
Oh.
After the 45-0 win over the Chargers in Los Angeles. Final thoughts on the game here, gentlemen, or anything that Cam Newton had to say? Paul, what do you got?
Just as thorough and complete a performance as the Patriots have had, really in a long time. To win a game like that, they really haven't done that in the last couple of years. They needed it. It's a good first step. They have to complete the LA trip on Thursday.
Yeah, Fred, not normal.
Nope, not normal. 4 out of 5, and it's December football.
That's a go.
It's time for real football here in New England.
Yeah, I agree. I feel good for some of those young guys. It's just good to see those young guys stepping out, making plays. Just finding a new base of guys that we can move forward with. I think that's my favorite thing.
As
about
Teddy
this.
Bruschi once said, it's a series of one-game seasons from here on out.
Want to know?
Yes.
And
so insightful.
Just to put a bow on everything here, Keno, who's in Trinidad, said, Paul, I don't like blueberries either. First time I ever had them was when I was in Boston, and the texture sucked. So maybe it's people from the Caribbean don't like them. Or I didn't know if that was maybe explained
But if
it
they're
for you.
baked into a muffin, you don't taste the texture. You don't.
Yeah,
so
I don't really like the taste, and I love fruit. Pretty much all fruit.
You don't like blueberries? Wait a minute.
I don't really like
Something wrong.
blueberries.
Something happened that time.
No, I don't like blueberries. I don't really like strawberries.
You don't like strawberries?
Strawberries.
We're gonna discuss it a lot more
Apples, pears, plums, nectarines, oranges. Love them all.
Mangoes,
passion fruit, dragon fruit,
pawpaw.
I don't really go too exotic.
We'll discuss this more in the pregame before the Rams on Thursday, which will be a 6 p.m. Eastern Time affair. So, until that
Short
time,
week.
Matt Morrell, Matt LePan, Megan O'Brien, everybody, Mike Dussault,
Dukes.
Fred Kirsch, Paul Perillo, it's Hardy here. Final score for the final time, 45-0. Patriots back to 500 on the season. We'll talk to you again on Thursday.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check Patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.